Well, it's a bit different from taking to our under-18s when we may not quite have the same crowd, so it's a little bit different. But I suppose it's part of the role, and I think the important thing as well is that sort of role modelling for other female coaches, other young girls that are growing up knowing that anything is possible if you work hard enough and opportunities do come along.
Job.
Well, it's all been, as I say, a little bit of a whirlwind. So obviously, haven't taken a training session with the players yet. You know, that was the first, obviously, performance we've seen from them, having come back from pre-season, with everything else that's going on. So I think the important thing is we get into training, we start working hard, and then we see where things take us. I love working at the club. I love my job, working with the kids. Got a great academy and a great group of young players. So I love what I do, but I've been really grateful for the opportunity. Yeah, a little bit, as you say, the attention has made that, and I think I want to make it really clear. It's great and it's fantastic, but the focus needs to be on the players and their preparations. And we are trying to, we're preparing a football team for a league season, and that's important. And we can't forget that, and that is the priority, and that has to be the priority. And I know this is why we've handled this situation like this, because they need to be the focus. We're just there to facilitate and coach them, and hopefully have a really positive start to the League 2 campaign. Yes, but it shouldn't be.
Yes, I agree.
So it's like the first, and it's great, but I don't want to be the first, and the only. I think it's slightly disappointing that as the first female academy manager, I'm still really the only female academy manager, and if we want change to happen, we need more females in these positions throughout clubs. And if there's more female coaches in youth football, I know Lydia Bedford's just got it at Brentford, the under-18s, then these opportunities will happen more and more, because coaches get promoted from youth football. So the more female coaches we can get in the boys' game throughout the academy systems, then I think it will happen more naturally.
Do you think that having this appointment here at Forest Green means that somebody like Emma Hayes may be more likely to get a job at a Premier League club?
Emma Hayes is amazing, and she's doing an amazing job where she is, and obviously playing in Champions League with international players, and she'd be more than capable of stepping into any position. We just need more open-minded people to allow these opportunities to happen. Not at all. Again, I've grown and developed in my time at the football club, and it was an opportunity that I felt I was ready to take. And again, I've spoken to to Dale and about that. And obviously, when this opportunity came up, he was fully aware of where I felt I might be able to step in at that point. Felt ready to go and do it. I think football's football. There's 22 players on the pitch, a ball and 2 goals, and we're trying to score more goals than them. So that doesn't change. And I think they're people. And I think, again, they're football players, but they are people. And people, again, if you treat them respectfully, talk to them like adults, which is exactly this way that we deal with the 16 and 17-year-olds. They might not be quite as mature to take some of those messages on, but it's very similar. Again, obviously the views of the fans are important, but for me it's the players. And I haven't just rocked up today and decided to coach a men's team, by the way. I've coached men's non-league football. I've coached in the academy. I've coached men for 20 odd years. So this isn't different for me. And the players, I tell you, never have a problem with the player. Because the players know as soon as you step on the grass, if you know what you're doing, you know what you're talking about, they just want good coaching. They just want good information. They just want a good programme. They just want to be prepared well for the start of the season in August. That's what they want. So it doesn't matter who's taking them. The perception is everybody on the outside on what it should look like. But in the environment, I don't think there's an issue at all.
No.
Yeah, so it's going to sound a bit mean, but the players don't have a choice. They're professional footballers at a professional football club who in a month's time are starting the League 2 season. So somebody's been put in charge of the group, and their responsibility is to train properly, prepare themselves for that start of the season. So, we spoke to them, we talked about, obviously a lot of change has happened in terms of Duncan leaving, and it provides a fresh start for some players. Some players obviously might be more disappointed, some will be, might be more pleased, that might not have been in favour as much. So it's a new start for everybody and a blank slate for everybody to have an opportunity. So no issues with the players. I think seeing from the players this evening, just got on with it because that's their job. What I've fell in love with football, so God, growing up again, older brother, playing football in the park, as it were, all those sorts of things. Again, it's quite sad that I say this story quite a lot because a lot of women in my generation, and we even look at some of the lionesses, tell similar stories that there weren't the opportunities to play that there are now, and that's fantastic that the girls have the opportunities they have now. So I quite quickly went into coaching, and as I say, whilst I was still playing, I would coach non-league men's football. So I tell you, that's nothing. Those group of professionals are nothing to walking into a non-league dressing room at Gresley Rovers or Shepshire Dynamo or Leicester Nirvana with a load of blokes who've been working all week and, you know, come for a couple of training sessions a week and a game on a Saturday. So, but you love it. You love the buzz of the Saturday afternoon and the 3 points, and fell in love with the game.
Yes, it was, yeah. I've been saying it all day. It was a very simple decision, and it was the most qualified person at the club for the job. Nothing else came into the frame. We did know that it would be a first, but that didn't matter. But I didn't know it would be such a big deal, honestly. You're next.
What's she got to do to get the job?
Come on, Adam.
Win the recruitment process, right? I'm not running the process. There'll be hundreds of people applying for it. It'll be a proper thing. It'll probably take several weeks. And if Hannah wants to put her name into the hat, to say it the right way around, she's very welcome. And we know Hannah. She's been here with us for 4 years. So you could argue she's got a bit of an inside track, but we'll see what happens, right? It'll be a very thorough process, and hopefully we'll get a great person for the job. Actually, I do think it's fantastic, actually, that all of this attention tells me what a really big thing we've done. And it's not accidental because we were conscious of it. It's incidental. It's incidental to the football decision that we made. And this has happened. And out there in the world, off the back of all of the news reports that you guys will file, girls and women, in football, in other sports, in non-sports, we'll be thinking, hell, are there actually any limits? As Hannah says, let's go break through the glass ceiling. So I think it's a great thing.